So here she is. Here is the beast. Trevor's just been walking me through. This one is fitted with everything, including a quick shifter. This has actually got the quick shifter. And apparently just keep the throttle open when you're using that, if you're accelerating obviously. Right, so I'm going to head to Rye. Oh god. The first thing's going to be the seating position. Is it comfortable? Oh my god, that is a big bike. Let's get the mirrors set up. Now, is this thing going to scare me? Jesus. That's pretty noisy for a bike that's got shitloads of stuff in the pipes. Let's go. Oh, little tiny click.
We're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
So what's the easiest way to Rye from here? Well, that seating position's not too aggressive. It's in sports mode as well, so I haven't got to fiddle around with that and like get all confused and aerated. The first thing I'm finding that I don't like is the clutch lever. The actual ball end of it is right pressed against my little finger. I'd want to get a much longer clutch lever on this, which I'm sure can be done. What is this guy doing? So Trevor says that he doesn't know of any plans by anyone to produce a performance pipe for it. And Andy was saying, doesn't need one. I said, no, just for the noise. He went, no, it's loud enough. Well, it's not. I mean, it's not a quiet engine, I can certainly hear it, even though the pipes are all muffled. But I suspect that people on the sidewalk are not being sufficiently roused. It's not grabbing anyone's attention, and if you're going to ride a bike like this around and you're a bit of a sad posing twat like myself, you want people's attention. You want that whole look at me on my mega machine of Armageddon death kind of thing. But no, loud pipe save lives. That's why I want a loud pipe on it, so every can hear me coming and have no excuse for pulling out on me. And plus Totty. Oh yeah, the Totty. Hey girls, look at me on my Rocket 3. Don't I look cool? Don't you want a piece of my action? Well, it's pretty precise at that sort of speed around a roundabout in terms of the line. it's got some little backfiring thumping going on deep in the bowels of the pipes. So that's the sort of noise you want to actually have coming out the opening of the pipes, not buried in the catalytic converter area. I can confirm that the suspension is quite harsh. Yeah, this seating position is very tipped forward in the hips. The saddle is high at the rear of the arse, and it tips your nuts forward and down. I don't know how comfortable or uncomfortable that would be over time. Does my arse look big in this? Talking of which, I've got to get some photographs of me sitting on it and just see if I look like the usual gonk on a bike. Third gear, up a steep hill, only doing 30 miles an hour, and yeah, the engine vibrates quite harshly in that bogging down area that all engines have, but it just goes through it and then it pulls. It smooths out and pulls again. That's the torque. I wonder if I can do that in fourth. Try an uphill throttle on up the hill. Oh yeah, that really harshly vibrates until it gets out of that bogging zone. But it does it. I mean, it's a high speed vibration, like, and you really feel it, but within half a second you're beyond the zone. That's pretty impressive. I mean, if you did that on a Fireblade, you're most likely just stall. I do like the gear indicator on it as well. I suppose you get used to the clutch lever and all the rest of it over a period of time, and then not bothering to change it. It's actually hard to believe. Well, it's not hard to believe. It's got a 2.5 litre engine, and the thing almost feels like an electric bike. I mean, there is a vibration coming through from it, but not something that it doesn't seem to be commensurate with the size of the engine. You think 2.5 litre, this thing should be shaking or vibrating pretty savagely. Not in terms of it being out of balance or anything, just because of the sheer size of the explosions going off. But it's not. And the sound of it just does not equate to 2.5 litres. That's why it needs a proper pipe on it. It's all very well in saying that it's loud enough. Well, by whose definition, or from whose perspective? Yeah, I do feel that these bars are a little bit too... They don't look off angle, but I'm definitely feeling like my elbows are being rotated outwards, and that my wrists or hands are being rotated kind of outwards. Very thin grips on it as well. I thought the sun would have come out by now, because we were supposed to be coming out from under the arse edge of that weather front, and it is still overcast as hell, and it's still threatening to rain. I really was expecting this to feel massive and huge and monolithic, and I'm sitting on it and it doesn't feel any different to the Speed Triple I rode. I remember thinking about how that speed triple, it kind of felt there was nothing in the front of it. Obviously the lack of a windscreen of any kind or a nose cone, what I used to call a bikini fairing, can cause that effect. And I did say when I was testing the speed triple that I would have to put a windshield on it just to give a sense of having something in front. And the same goes for this. I would put the GC windscreen on this. I just tested the shiftless changer. That's just instant change. No, you don't have to worry about the clutch being a shitty little clutch lever because you just don't use it anymore with a speed shifter on. But yeah, this size of it, it's a 2.5 litre bike and it feels like a speed triple in size, at least from the rider's perspective. And I guess that's good. I don't feel intimidated by the size of it. When they offered me years ago a test ride on the old Rocket 3, I just like, no, I'm not interested in riding an oil tanker. Don't want it. Don't want to know. I wouldn't buy one. I'm not interested in riding one. And to tell the truth, it scares me a bit. But this thing, it's kind of like, how the hell have they squeezed a 2.5 litre engine into something that feels quite diminutive? Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, if I'm honest. Why wouldn't I be honest? No, I'm going to make it up. I never thought it was going to be big and chunky. But yeah, it's weird. It doesn't, and then all the reports, the reviews that I've been watching on YouTube are all saying how it feels light as a feather. It absolutely does. There's just no feeling of mass to it, which I would have expected from the old ones. I mean, they were 40 kilograms heavier. They've saved a lot of weight on this. Nonetheless, this is still over 290 kilos. And it feels, again, I'm comparing it to the speed triple. I feel like I'm riding a speed triple, except it's had another 1.5 litres of engine added to it. Oh dear me, who came up with the idea for this thing? Somebody at Triumph. You know what, we got to make a comeback, boys. We got to get our name back. What are we going to do? How are we going to achieve that? I know. Go on then, let's put a 2.5 fucking litre engine in it. Ah, you're mad. That'll never work. 2.5 litres? That's like it's like those lunatics in America that build custom bike frames and put a V8 car engine in. You're going along those sorts of lines there, aren't you, mate? Yeah, why not? Well, I guess they sold enough of them. Well, that was a piece of piss. Well, I used the quick shifter again. It did jerk a little bit. It didn't go click, but then again it's under load, isn't it? Yes, of course it's going to jerk. Oh my lord, look at this fucking wind. It's just like the heavens want to unleash hell. I'm in 5th gear. Uh-oh. What's this idiot doing? What are you fucking on? I don't actually have to touch the clutch lever at all. I've just changed it down a gear with the quick shifter, and yeah, there's nothing scary about it at all. I'm going to break the engine. I'm going to have cogs falling out the arse of it. No. I think he did say about close the throttle when you kick it down. Yeah, it'll take a bit of getting used to that quick shifter. I think I'm marmalising it a bit there. I hope this camera's not going to do that, turn itself off after 10 minutes of recording. I hope it just makes a new file. But that fucking GoPro, what the fuck with that? Seriously pissed me off. Oh, good idea, let a fucking great refuge lorry pull out in front of us. Oh, that upshifter is absolutely seamless. Closed throttle for changing down, and it's absolutely smooth. Oh my god. So the only time you'd have to use the clutch lever is when you're pulling away from standstill. So I'm waiting for that really long straight bit of road before I crack the throttle on this bad boy. I'm not like getting overly expectant because I'm not used to anymore. I've had fire blades and they're considerably lighter and with more brake horsepower. Not a great deal actually, not a great deal more. In fact, they could possibly be about the same. I think my Fireblade, the last one, was 167 brake horsepower, or was it 172? And there was not a massive amount in the brake horsepower between these. And obviously this is producing all of its grunt through the entirety of the rev range, kind of. I think it starts from 3.5 or 2.5, can't remember. But having had 4 Fireblades all the way from the very first one to the RR7 in 2008, I think that was, I know what it feels like to crack the throttle on a seriously powerful bike. And obviously mine was race tuned. I say obviously, nothing obvious about it, but mine was race tuned. It had the Aquapovic full performance exhaust system, the proper mapping, it'd been on a dyno, blah blah blah. So that was powerful and fast. So I'm not getting silly with the expectations for this. It's not going to be like a Fireblade. Having said that, I've been used to a ZRX 1100, although it was pretty hot, but then a year of riding a Harley. Now that was very jerky. Used the quick shifter to change up there. I think you need to be using it at a high speed. Maybe, I don't know. Let's get past all this shit. Yeah, you need to have a bit of throttle input for using the quick shifter, I think. You can't use it for burbling around town. I might be wrong. You've only been riding the thing for half an hour, if that. Okay, here we go, here comes the fast road. Oh yeah. There it goes. Sin sixth, roll up. Well, from my personal perspective, I would classify that as very respectable. I mean, comparing it to my ZZR, which is hard to remember how that thing felt when it pulled. I think this one's got it in spades. This was pulling hard enough that I had to brace myself and crouch a bit to get out of the wind. But I also definitely found the limit quickly of when it actually stopped accelerating any faster. There was still more throttle rotation to go, but it was at maximum acceleration rate, if that makes sense. There wasn't anything more to be had. But isn't that the same on any bike, I guess? I don't know. See how it handles this hairpin. Keep the back brake engaged ever so slightly. Yeah. And then just to throttle a little bit coming out of that, and it was like, oh fuck! That's a bit much. It's a bit vicious. I mean, this thing feels so light, you could very, very soon get used to taking the piss on it and like start hooning it around. I never thought I would hear myself say those words in regard to a Rocket 3. Yeah, you can hoon it. This feels, like, obviously first impressions and all that, but this feels as hoonable as the Speed Triple. And it shouldn't. Kind of. Technically it should not be hoonable. This should be the kind of machine that you need to telegraph your turns and curves. But it is so light, and I'm getting the impression that it's flickable. I mean, the geometry is not particularly racy. The rake on the forks. Fuck me. Yeah, it is mentally powerful. You could get yourself into a lot of trouble with this in all kinds of ways. It's very weird. I've never ever ridden a bike with a quick shifter before, so I can't really compare it to previous experiences. Like, is it notchy? Is it a bit crappy? Is it a bit glitchy? All I can say is that it is usable. And actually, even in this slow speed built up scenario, I'm kicking it down. Yeah, you have to have the throttle open, otherwise it won't shift up. You can't shift it up with the throttle closed, but you have to have the throttle closed to shift it down. Makes perfect sense. I'm actually going to use the indicators. That'll be a first. Here's the car park. At these sorts of speeds it is nicer to use the actual clutch lever. No, doesn't have self-cancelling indicators, which I'm used to on the Harley. Neutral. It's not mine. I stole it. I'm very surprised it doesn't feel like a tanker.
Because the old ones did, didn't they?
I was offered to test ride those and I was like, no, I'm not interested in riding an oil tanker. But that thing, it's like a speed triple in the feel of it.
Really? That's really clever.
I'm actually sitting and thinking, this is like a speed triple with a massively bigger engine.
Yeah, nice. Is that a 2.5 litre engine?
Yeah.
2.5, massive.
It's insane. But it feels absolutely light as a feather and it's flickable. So a 2.5 litre engine bike that you can hoon around on, I was not expecting that.